BHP podcast is presented by BowHunterPlanet.com. Join the hunt.
Support for the BowHunterPlanet podcast is provided by HHA Sports, Cold Steel Knives, Scott Archery, Burris Optics, Element Outdoors, Reveal Cellular Trail Cams, Deer Cam Coffee. Additional support is provided by Yeti.
Hey guys, Dave Thomas, BowHunterPlanet.com. Welcome to the podcast. Today we got Pine Ridge Archery. Brian's joining us. Brian, how's it going at Pine Ridge right now?
It's doing great. With all the bad things going on in the world with COVID and all the other issues that come along with it, we've been doing really well. Pine Ridge is doing great.
So tell us about the product lineup, because I know, you guys have so many things, and I'm on the website now looking at it, and I've used a lot of these products over the years. You guys have sent us some of this stuff, and it's always been great. Never had any issues with any of this stuff. But I guess tell us from your perspective. I guess give us a general lineup for the archery side of it, and then maybe dive into what's the hottest products you guys have right now.
Sure. So Pine Ridge kind of started on two things, like tools and tree stand accessories. And over the years, the tree stand accessories were great. I mean, from a functionality standpoint, they just didn't do well for us, and Pine Ridge kind of went slower and slower. It grew, but slowly. And when Matthew started doing their colored things, colored accessories, things like that, we kind of found a little niche to go into and went after some kisser buttons and some little nitro speed buttons and did them in all the different colors. And that became something that we got known for. So we expanded that into a full line of string accessories, all different colors, from speed buttons, dampeners, kissers, things like that, string loop, and peeps. And then we got into the Nitro Veins, which are a different type of vein. They still, from a look standpoint, they look similar to a regular vein, but they're not extruded. They're molded, injection molded, and they have better properties to them to glue and adhere to the shaft and all that. So we kind of went that direction as well. We are very well known for our tools. Probably, if not every shop, most shops out there and most archers have the yellow handled Allen wrench set. The Archer's Allen wrench set is guaranteed for life, not to strip or round off. So we've gotten really known for that, as well as our other tools. And it just evolved, and we got, I don't even know what we're up to. I think we're somewhere in the realm of 500-600 SKUs or something like that because of all the colors. But we probably have about 60 items or so, and then all the different color variations and all that. So of course, cool. our adhesives due for fletching have been really well known. So we kind of try to do everything around the bow without doing the bow, of course, without doing the arrows and rests and that. So that's kind of our niche. We have other divisions of our company in the model airplane hobby industry and then fishing industry. And we're always, our products are always the less glamorous, but you need them, and you need them to work. And you don't want to mess around with them. They just need to work. So that's kind of where we focus. We don't take the limelight and the glamour, but we take the nuts and bolts and the needed products.
Yeah. Very interesting. I don't think you could go around our studio and not find one of these Allen wrench tools. We probably have like 30 of them there of the ones you guys have sent us over the years, but you're right. They've not a single one has ever gone bad. So they're always there. And, I even keep them, like when you're watching the show, I keep one actually it's actually behind me on the big lit up BowHunterPlanet sign. There's a wood shelf. There's actually one in there all the time.
Nice.
When we're doing the test, oh my God, you got to keep cranking them down and then re-crank them back off and, back and forth.
Well, when we do, ATA, obviously not this year, but normally when we go to ATA, the Archery Trade Association show, we'll have one guy or two guys come up throughout the show, and you can just see they're proud of themselves because they bring up a wrench that's got a little corkscrew to it, a little twist, or they snapped off the end and say, "Yep, you win. You damaged one, so we give a free one." Yeah, we'll see you in 5 years when you finally damage that one.
That's funny. That's pretty rare, though. I've never seen one break. That's crazy. We also we use a lot of that, the driver set you guys have, that standard ball driver set with the
yeah.
They go in.
You can go in on I think it's a 30-degree angle and still get torque on the bolt head. So and you're not going to strip or round it off.
Yeah.
So
and they're long, so you get you can get into weird spots with them. And I haven't used the holster though for the wrench combo. I haven't used the holster yet, but I probably should. A lot of jeans have that little pocket inside the pocket of your jeans, and our wrench fits perfectly in there. So if you don't have the holster, you can usually get away with that. Yeah, that's really cool. Now we've also used, and I have used a lot of the adhesives, and they've worked very well. Let's see here. I wanted to look at. So you guys have a couple different ones. Can you explain the difference? Oh, I see. Instant arrow glue and then insert glue.
So you can do inserts with either glue. So the instant arrow glue works on fletchings, inserts, everything. It's a fast set though, so which is fine. But if you want a little more working time, or if you want, if you're doing hidden inserts, something like that, we have the insert glue, which has more of a 90-second drying time. Has a little more. It's rubberized, so it's got some more shock absorbing properties to it. Whereas the instant glue is fine, but it's going to be a harder bond, a little more stiffer bond than the insert glue. So we're coming out with, we have a half-ounce insert glue. We're coming out with a larger bottle because we have so many guys, especially shop owners, that just go through it so much they want a bigger bottle. So that is one thing we're coming out with this year.
Well, that's cool. And then I know you talked a little bit in the beginning about the colors, and you guys have so many colors. It's literally incredible. Which is really cool in my opinion, because what happens is, like, as an archer, a lot of guys love to customize their bows. And like you said, that when Matthews did that originally, it really opened some eyes, and people like, oh, I'd like to do that. That's cool. Let's get some colors.
Right.
But now what you're seeing is, I can do all bright red. I can do all, bright yellow. I mean, you're getting into colors that weren't even really on the original docket. Now, what you guys are offering can have all these cool, like, really bright. I mean, right here alone, I'm looking at, you have like a teal blue, you have a pink, hot pink, bright purple, bright red, bright yellow, bright orange, bright green, bright blue, and a black, and you have camo stuff. So, I mean, it's really incredible.
Well, and it's funny because we focus on all the bright stuff, and we have black, of course, for the one, for guys who just, I don't want color, I just want black. So we have that. This year we're coming out with 3 different colors to go along. So we're actually adding to the color theme, because so many of the bows in the past few years have come out with what we call earth tone colors. So I don't know if you can see it here, but we got a tan version. This is our Nitro XL button. And then we have our brown, which is kind of hard to tell, but that's like a chocolate brown. And then we have our OD olive drab green.
Smart. This is a good idea.
So we're doing a lot of our string accessories in those colors as well. Like, our kisser buttons and things like that. We're popping them off into all 3 of those colors. That way, it's just, if you have one of those earth tone bows, or, whatever you want to refer to them as, you don't have to just stick with black, or you don't have to have a bright color on it. I'm actually thinking of going full OD green on everything I do this year. So
yeah, it's really
be subdued.
It's a very smart move. I feel like Bear Archery led that kind of a couple years ago, where they started introducing the olive green and a sandstone, and then all of a sudden, people, I think, started catching on to it, and then everybody started offering that, even like Bowtech and Matthews.
Yeah,
so everybody now has some sort of earth tone color. And so for you doing that is genius, because now I want it. Like, that is really cool. Like, my bow's like that, so I'm like, wow, that's cool that you guys are going to match that idea. And to be honest, those colors look perfect. They look spot on. And I've never seen a color like that in a non-metal. That's really cool.
Right. And I got to give credit. I don't know if you know Tim Zimmerman formerly from Taz Archery, but he was the one. He works our booth with us, does a lot of product development stuff. He came up. He's like, man, you guys are going to miss the boat if you don't do this. So it took us. We missed last year. Got them in line this year, so they're coming out. But it's true. It's just so many more bows have that, like you call sand. This is our Nitro split limb dampener, and we did that. We're gonna do it in all 3 colors. But that sand color just looks so cool. We call it tan, but it looks so cool, and the olive drab just looks really, really cool in an olive drab bow. So
when would those be available?
We're gonna shoot for. Actually, I got them now, but January 1st. By the time we actually launch them, I got stuff at photographers right now. And
very cool. And then so tell me about, like, the quest for maybe trying to get those products onto a bow company now. Like, so instead of them use their own or something else, what's I guess tell me about that a little bit. Is it something you guys have tried to do in the past and it just never works? So how does that work? Is it always like an external, like, you have to buy it separately because the companies don't want to do anything, or you guys not want to do things with companies? Like, how does that work?
No, that's actually a great, timely question too, because I was going to tell you something else that actually nobody else knows. So I'll break some new stuff for you on here. Historically, and we still do this, but bow, like string manufacturers especially, will come to us and ask us to buy our products in bulk. And since we do manufacture ourselves, right? I mean, I'm 50 feet from the manufacturing area over here. And we can do that. We'll, they may want to buy a few thousand or, even more or whatever of a certain item to offer as an option, or to offer as, a standard issue on one of their products. So Elite Archery, if you buy an Elite bow, you're going to see 2 of our XL buttons. So this is green, but they buy the black Nitro XL button, and you'll get 4 on each Elite bow. So they'll come to us and buy it that way. So now what I had happen this year is Eric Griggs from Gas Bowstrings. You familiar with Gas?
Yep.
Okay. So they came to us and they wanted us to customize that Nitro XL button with their logo on it. And just based on the design of it and how it works, we couldn't do that. We couldn't put a logo on it. So I said, well, why don't you guys come up with a design that you like, and we'll make it for you, but we'll also make it for ourselves. And they sell it with their strings and we sell it to dealers and things like that. So they came up with a design of this bomb. So it's this is the Nitro Speed Bomb, and they're calling theirs the Gas Speed Bomb, of course, has their logo on it.
Cool.
But we make them for them, we make them for us. And the really cool thing about this is you're going to add speed to your bow, but these weigh 23 grains. So you're replacing 3 brass knocks with one item, where our XL buttons are great, but they're not as heavy. Eric from Gas had, some great ideas and wanted to make sure we made them dense enough and heavy enough, because they're tired of putting brass knocks on the strings. So this will replace a 3-knock set and be a lot faster and easier to put on. So these
cool.
are going to be on all the colors, as well as the olive, the brown, and the tan, of course. But so yeah, we've been wanting to do more team ups with string companies, bow manufacturers, and this one just kind of came out of nowhere. It's just perfect timing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We definitely are willing to work with all of them.
Tell us about the Nitro Hunter stabilizer. Now, it's something you guys have had for a few years. It looks like a redesign to me from what I think I remember is the original. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's good memory. So the Nitro stabilizer was the original one. That was a different design, and it was crazy. Not to get too much into the manufacturing and the sales part of things, but it seems like, as good as it was, it fell into a price bracket where people wanted to pay more or they wanted to pay less. So we kind of found that we somehow by accident shot ourselves in the foot by being right in that middle price. So we said, okay, we're not going to go, at that point we weren't going to build a big expensive stabilizer, because that's just not who we were at that time. We may happen in the future, but we said, let's bring the price down a little bit to where they want to go, where it's not super cheap, but it's a solid aluminum stabilizer, with good dampening properties. And that's what we did. So that came out with the Nitro Hunter, and that had different colors and camo options, but truthfully, the black body with the color rings is really the most popular version, and it has great dampening properties. It's a 5.5 inch or a 5 inch or a 7.5 inch, and or maybe I'm wrong, 5.5 and 7.5. I think both. I'm confusing myself, but so
hey, you said 500 plus SKUs, so
yeah, right, exactly. So that one does really well, and then we came up with even a more economical one, which doesn't have aluminum tube on it, so it's a little less costly to manufacture, called the Sawtooth Stabilizer. Still offers the colors, and it still has the saw blades, as we call them, as the dampeners, and about $5 less on the retail, I think is what it is. And it's just they both do a great job for a economical stabilizer that's not just a chunk of rubber. You know what I mean? It has some cool look to it. It has the color options. You can, match it to your bow, match it to your other accessories, and they both do a great job. But the original Nitro that you're talking about, that one, we still have some. If anyone wants them, let me know. But it just fell into a weird price thing, and it just kind of fizzled a little bit.
This Sawtooth is interesting to me because there's something visually about it that it like really pops, and I think it's because it's like staggered, like not staggered, but it's like black and then the color underneath. I'm looking at the green one right now, but it is so it is like, I don't know, there's something about it. I love the visual of it. It just almost like boom, it just pops. Well, normally in that price range, I think it's retails like $19, but normally in that price range, you're getting, like I said, just a chunk of rubber that's not really cool looking. And that gives you some nice side look to it, because when you're looking at this, you see the colors on the side, but if you can see when you're looking straight on, you don't see the colors as much. You see a little bit of ring there, so it's a neat design. It just really looks great on a bow. Let's talk about the front end of that. I saw a nut right there on the front. Yep. On that image. So if I unscrew that nut, the whole thing comes off, or how's that work?
That's actually a solid bolt that runs all the way through here. So when you're cranking this down, you're using that, Allen head there, and you're tightening it right into the bow. But it's a solid shafter. So that's basically acting as kind of like your tuning fork. And the dampeners are expelling the vibration out.
Very cool. What's that? Oh, that camo one. What's that one down there? in the bottom corner. That's sick. It's like three colors.
It is, yeah. The black, tan, and that is a different green that we had, and we only have it for that item. But yeah,
that's cool.
We call our camo version.
That is really cool.
And then that's the Nitro Hunter, as we were talking about before, where it's got the same saw blades. We refer to these things as saw blades. Okay. So it's the same saw blades in there, some color accents, color back here. This is an aluminum tube. There still is that solid bolt that runs all the way through it. So that's one solid bolt. So similar dampening properties, but you got that aluminum. You got a little different design there, and
very cool.
Just cool, yeah.
Yeah, that thing is really nice. I do love the look of the Nitro Hunter as well. I think you guys did a great job with that one. That looks really good. And I do like the idea that there are guys out there, a lot of them, and a lot of us, I should say. I do like the black, just straight black, and so it's nice that you offer that if you don't want to do a color, but. Now seeing, so like, here's my thing. Like, I'm not going to do like the bright pink, the red or anything like that, unless I'm doing the whole thing. You know what I mean? Right. I'm not going to have a bright pink stabilizer only and not have like the peep and everything, like you're saying. So having the black is great. But when I just saw that camo one, that's the first time I've ever seen that camo one. That is really like, that is different. Cause to me, that's like really, you could put that on anything and still look cool, especially both got the camo limbs and black frame. And then you do something. That would look sick on that bow.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, exactly. That was the it's hard to get some of these things out because we have so many SKUs. It's hard to really show everybody everything and have them notice it. So yeah, there are a few items in here that kind of get lost in the shuffle, and like you said, you've never seen it before, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's the best one of them all.
That's really cool looking. Yeah, and then moving into kisser buttons. You guys have about you show 4 on your website. Are these available? Okay, that's what I wanted to see is the colors, because the website doesn't do it justice to what you just showed me here. This is like huge amount of colors.
So we have the standard size up here. There's a regular kisser button that everyone's used to, and then we have our XL, our larger one here, and we have them both in slotted and slide on. And I'll show you the difference here real quick. I can grab one here. So this one, if you look around, it's kind of blurry, but there's no slit in it. That slides right over the string. So you take your string off and put that right on. If you look at this, let's see if I can show it. I'm not a good hand model here, but you see the slit there. So you don't have to take the string off for that one. We give you crimps with it. It goes right around. And the same thing on the smaller version. So we wanted to have something a little unique and make it so at the time when we came out with these, a lot of kisser buttons were flying off the strings, and they weren't the crimps, like they were only crimping them on the bottom, or there's problems with the crimps or whatever it might be, and guys were losing kisser buttons. So we made it so that you can crimp top and bottom, or you can serve top and bottom on them and keep a slotted version on there and not have it come off. But we said, well, if you're building a string anyways, putting a brand new string on a bow, why not use the slide-on version? Because it goes right over the end loop and slides right into place. There's no way it can come off. It's impossible. And you don't have the look of the crimp around it. You have just the kisser button. So you get a little more of that color, a little more style on it. And it was unique. It was something that, we had that was different.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like the idea of slide on one. You don't have to deal with the crimping or anything, but at the same time, I know what you're saying. We've had plenty of kissers go flying off bows. Yeah. And I agree that there was always some sort of weird crimping issue we couldn't figure out, and it always happened. And then having one that goes over that string is just genius. You don't have to deal with it at all, and it's good. Speaking of so the accessories going into the peeps. It looks like, I don't remember seeing this from you guys. I guess maybe I never had one in the past, or I don't remember. I guess, have they always been aluminum or no? Because I didn't think they were aluminum. Okay.
So we actually have 3 versions. So the original ones that you recall are the Nitro Peep, which is a tubed peep, and then the Feather Peep, which we had the 3/16 and a quarter in plastic that we injection mold and all. And they're fine. They're great. A lot of guys use them. We do a ton of them. Then we have the Z38. That's an aluminum peep. So that is, standard 38-degree angle. We have it in 1/8, 3/16, 7/32, and quarter, 4 different colors. That's more of your traditional aluminum peep, and made in the US, polished, clean, smooth, all that kind of stuff. But because we are injection molders, we started with the Feather Peep and the Nitro Peep, which we mold here, in our machines.
So when you, I'm only asking this question because I know a little bit about molding and stuff. When you guys mold those like peeps, how many peeps are in a full mold?
That one, it's not a big. I think it's a 2-up. It's either 2-up or 4-up mold.
Okay, so are they pretty small then? The molds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our machines.
I just kind of envision this huge mold, like all these.
No. No, our bread and butter is small molding. Like our biggest press is a 40-ton press right now. We're looking at a 100-ton press, but currently 40 is the biggest. And it just, we mold for ourselves. We also do some on the outside, but for some outside companies. But most of our stuff is built with small machines in mind, and they're less expensive. They're less expensive to run. They're easier to run. And that just helps us keep our prices down, and we can compete with China. Truthfully, it's, we don't have to invest in huge tools and go way deep. Like if we had a mold in China, all these colors, it'd be insane. You wouldn't do it because you'd have so much overstock inventory that it'd be ridiculous. We can run back literally if somebody calls up and has a big order and says, they catch us on a down cycle of some inventory, we can pull a mold out of a press and within a couple days have whatever we need to have run. So it helps us be really mobile and, not relying on a boat coming up from overseas, which right now with COVID, I mean, I'm hearing anything through California. Just yesterday, a freight company told me, whatever you're expecting the time, add at least a month to it to get it here.
Wow.
So that can ruin a company, So
yeah,
we have that flexibility to just say, forget it. We're going to mold it ourselves. We do small stuff. We know our limitations, but we can do what we do very well.
Yeah. Let's talk about the process real quick, just for those who don't understand that, being that you guys make this stuff yourself, you're not just like, buying it, reselling it.
Yeah.
In order to make it, you would have, I think they're like little pellets of some sort.
Yep.
Plastic pellets.
Yep, little plastic pellets. Yep.
And I'm assuming they come in the color you want. So you pre-order the green. No, they're black.
No, they're clear, natural color.
Okay, I didn't know that. And
we add color into it. And it's crazy when you look at a batch. You look at a batch of material mix, like the small pellets of plastic. They're clear, and it looks like mistakes of little colors of rice spattered through it. It's not a lot. I mean, it's very small. They call it letdown, but there's a very small amount of colorant that you put in to get the material the color you want it. So it's kind of deceiving. You would think it's this big mixed color thing, but it's not.
So then that's fed in is pressure pushed right through to heat it up to melt it.
So it goes through a hopper, and then it goes into what's a barrel and a screw, and that heats up, and that's preheating the material as it's screwing through. Once by the time it gets to the mold, it's molten to the temperature that we want for that particular material, that particular mold. It goes in there, it compresses, holds for whatever period of time it needs to hold. Then it opens, pops it out, and it's done. Now it can either come out on what's called a tree, so all little connectors, or you do a thing where some molds we call them subgates, where when the mold is about to open, it has a thing come through and cut all the parts in the right spot off the runner. So when you open, they fall separate. You don't have to have a person sit there and trim them.
So again,
our whole goal is to compete with China, where they have cheap labor. Yeah. We don't have cheap labor, so that's where some of those things come in.
So where it cuts them, is there something that has to be like sanded? Does it go through like a barrel or anything after that, where the cut is made?
It depends. If it's the injection molded stuff, most likely not, because it's going to trim it pretty much perfectly. When we do hand trim a lot of products off of trees, and we have people that have been here for 15, 20 years, and they're very good at it.
Yeah.
And it may, we never put that spot in a part that's going to be, in an area of the part that's going to cause a problem. So like on a peep, you wouldn't put that with a string that's going to groove through it,
It's a touch,
yeah. So that kind of thing, that wouldn't be an issue there. But we have, once it comes out, like I said, we'll sort it, pull the parts out, and then we go in. We have a whole packaging department, assembly department. We even have a print shop in our factory here where we'll print a lot of our packaging and some literature, things like that. And then it goes up in the shelves and it goes out through shipping. So it's pretty efficient operation. Yeah.
So yeah, sorry to go off topic, guys. I was just wanted to explain, there's, things are happening. It's not like you just buy it and resell it to you. There's physical things.
Right.
I do want to make a comment on the last thing on the peeps real quick is just that with the aluminum, there are 4 colors. It looks like black, red, blue, and green. Is that correct?
That is for quarter and 3/16. On 1/8 and 7/32, we only did black. They just don't sell as much, so we kept it as black.
Got it. Okay, great. And then okay, so that's the aluminum.
Those are all, and that's an anodized color. It's not like you can't match the anodized color to the plastic color because the different materials, different coloring, so it doesn't work. Yeah, but the red's pretty close and the blue's pretty close. The green's a little different of a green.
You guys also have you know what? Here's one product I want to talk to you about. So let's talk a little bit about the quick stand bow support. So this product has a lot of adjustability into it. Is this made to fit any size of the new risers or the new limbs? Like, Matthew's got a really wide stance limb now with the tube. Is this going to fit that and any of those type of bows as well?
I haven't had a chance to measure their limb yet. I would. Is it bigger than their previous models?
No, I'd say it's probably about the same as the Tri-X and up.
Okay. So then, it would fit. So what we did is, I'll show it up here just so you can see it. So we had these jaws here. They're adjustable. That's what these grooves are here for. The jaws go in and out. And then what we ran into a couple of years back is we fit pretty much every bow on the market. But then there was a couple that we found out that we weren't aware of. So we redesigned the jaws. And now if you notice, there's this kind of groove back here. There's a screw up top here that you can screw down or screw out to make that jaw open and close to whatever thickness you need. So as you slide it on the limb, slide it down towards the limb pocket, whatever adjustment you need, you can make right here. And then
that's really cool.
If a bow is, less parallel, it needs to have a different stance, you can kick these legs out like you see right here, and you'll have a wider stance to accommodate that bow. So I nowadays with the legal stuff, I don't know if I can say they fit every bow, but we haven't run into a bow it doesn't fit yet. Yeah.
And they also have that, and you guys have that in some really cool colors too.
We do. We got
orange looks sweet, man. The line.
More, you can see we got white frames or black frames, and then the legs match the colors. It's not the jaws over here. The jaws match the colors on the white frames. There's a lot.
Yeah, we got to talk about that because I got to get those back in house. We have one in house for our test lab table, and we do these bow show offs. And I swear to you, I don't know why I have one of yours, and I have three of some. I have no idea where I got them from. They're not yours, and they're similar, but they're garbage. Like they don't even fit.
Throw them out. We'll get to that.
They don't even fit on the bows, and I'm sitting there trying to put it on one limb. And yours is fine. I got one bow set up, and then I'm screwed on these other four bows I'm trying to set up. I'm like, this is crazy. So I knew there's something I had to talk to you about. I was like,
well, and that's truthfully what happened. We kind of look at it. We look at our stuff from a dealer standpoint because most of our sales go through archery shops, pro shops, and from a pro shop standpoint, that guy's trying to stock 3 or 4 different models. Well, if you got this bow, you need this one. If you got this bow, you need this model. If you got this bow, you need this model. We wanted to be as universal as we possibly can make it, and that's why we did the adjustments. It's just the shop can have one, maybe different colors, but you can have one product, and he knows it's going to fit with pretty much every bow, if not every bow that goes through his door.
I recommend this stand for consumers too, because this is a stand that you could have at your house to set your bow on. You could be shooting and put your bow on the stand, and it could hold your bow. If you want to work on your bow, this is like a great stand to have. And there's a product you guys have that I actually forgot all about, and I just saw it when I was clicking around in here. I think it's the well, first off, I found it here, but first off, you guys do have a lot of things that people don't know about. So you have like these trail camera supports, looks like, for in the field. For post, you guys have a reel strap, equipment reel hoist if you want to hoist your bow up, or any equipment realistically, I guess. You have arrow pullers, which is always helpful, especially when you shoot a lot of arrows. But the one thing that I don't see it very much. No one really I know talks about it, but you sent us some of these maybe 5 years ago. It's the hunting gear equipment hanger.
Yeah.
That thing is, I want to say that's the most underrated product in the industry, because I used to use that thing exclusively on every tree, because it's so easy to carry in your bag, and I would put it up, and I have all these ropes, and I can put anything I want anywhere. It is an incredible little product.
Well, and that goes back in the beginning of I said we started off with tree stand accessories, and there's a handful of items that we came out with that are just awesome. But truthfully, they just never sold well, because it's hard to, get dealers to pick up certain things, or, to see the vision or whatever. With the internet, that thing was about to get discontinued, truthfully.
Wow.
We sell, that's probably I would put that up in the top 5 of quantity sold of items that we sell now. Because
I'll show you guys what it looks like real quick. This is it here.
Yeah, because so many, guys can find it now on the internet, and it works. If you hunt public land and you can't screw into the tree, or you just don't want to screw into a tree, it straps around in literally seconds. You hang anything you see there, you hang your gun, bow, pack, antlers, grunt call, whatever. And one place that it really is getting a lot of attention is these saddle hunters. I haven't started saddle hunting yet. I don't know if you do that, but saddle hunters are loving this. It goes up, when they get set, they put that around, and all their gear is right in front of them.
Yeah, this thing is honestly, I mean, for the this is crazy to me. I pay $30 for this. Honestly, it is
Right.
the best like things you can imagine. If you're ever, I would recommend this to anybody. So if you're out there listening to this podcast, honestly, I go to this website and buy this product, and it is so light and easy. Just look at it. First off, it's a loose rope strap, I should say.
Strap.
It's got these 3 hangers that literally all I'm saying is when you're trying to pack it or whatever, it's literally like this big. I mean, it's all small, and you just put it in the corner of your backpack and you're good. And you don't have to screwing in stuff to the tree, which takes forever, hurts your hand. It's so annoying. And
well, and they're molded plastic, they're molded nylon actually, so they're super durable and they won't clank around. When you have the metal hooks, that you put in, you're clanking them in your backpack all the time. These are quiet. Put them up quietly, use them quietly. They're awesome.
Stab in your hand when you're searching for them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. This is great. One of my favorite products ever you guys made that I'm just like, I'm not surprised at all it's still around. I definitely think it needs to be on the front page of the website though, because that's so
honestly
hot.
We've talked about that because it's crazy. Guys are finally finding that one, and there's the one other item that has always been a good product. We never were going to get rid of it, but it has found new life lately. Is the Arrow Inspector, the spinner, Arrow Spin Checker. That one's got a cool life story to it. Actually, that was our first product ever. That and the Archer's Allen wrench that we were talking about that doesn't round off. Those are our first 2 products back in '97. And the reason that Arrow Inspector came up, I'll show you a quick picture. Okay, you're gonna do it. So those sides there that hold the arrow are actually from our other division of the model airplane division for a balancer to balance your model airplane propellers. So we modified that to work on an arrow spinner. So those wheels that are in it that it spins on are totally overbuilt, to be honest, because they're meant for a model airplane, which has a huge amount of revolutions, a lot of vibration, and it has to be right. So we basically built the best spinner for arrows on the market because we already had it. And it just, if you're shooting an arrow, you should never shoot it without spinning it first. I don't care if you're target shooting or hunting, because when you take a dozen arrows and you spin them, you will be amazed at how many differences there are between those 12 arrows. And the Arrow Inspector shows it all.
Never would have thought that. That is really crazy.
You may have, the way you know it's off balance is number one, if it wobbles. But then when you spin it, when it stops, it's such a precise instrument that if you have a heavy side, it's going to roll to the heavy side every time. So that'll tell you if that arrow has maybe more glue on one side, or the insert is off balance, or it spins perfectly with a field point. You put a broadhead on there and now it changes. So you need to spin those every time you change from field points to broadheads to make sure your broadheads are balanced.
This just brought up this idea in my mind, like, and I'm always looking at things from like a test lab perspective for our shows and stuff. And I need to use this on video, every broadhead video, just to show the way the broadhead looks when it's spinning. I never thought about that. So you just said that. I'm like, wow, that'd be cool, because you can actually show it in rotation and what it looks like without trying to manually do it slow in your hand. You can actually spin it.
And shops buy this all the time to sell, but then also they put one on the counter. Guy brings his arrows in and spins them, and he's looking like, hey man, you're shooting some bad arrows for this reason.
That's a good idea.
And you'd be amazed how many bad arrows are out there flinging around. It's just,
I feel like arrow companies owe you money. That's crazy.
Well, they're not always happy.
Well, they're selling more
they're selling more, but then you're showing their bad arrows too.
Yeah, this is one other product I want to bring up because I love this set. This has been, we use this thing so much for when we're doing D loops all the time. And this is so sharp that it is incredible. I can get each little cut in there. It's got a little hook to it. This is a great product right here.
You get that longer, length there from the handle down to the tip. So you get a little more leverage with a little less effort when you're closing the scissors down too. So yeah, it's a great set. And like you said, you get the curved and the straight. So sometimes you need to get in there in a curve and, for one application or another, but it's great.
The only thing you're missing on that is like some sort of attached lighter.
Oh yeah, right.
But no, seriously,
you got the all-in-one.
If you guys have, my whole thing with this is for the price and everything. This is something you should have anyway, and you can always keep this. And think about it, you don't have to use it for anything else but archery. So therefore, it is literally going to always be sharp, always in great shape, and you never have to worry about looking for a big old scissors. It doesn't really fit doing a D-loop or a peep or cutting. This is cutting little tiny precisions. It's just a really great product. So Brian, so one of the videos I'm working on coming up, and I'll talk with you about offline, but like one of the videos I am going to work on coming up and I'm excited about is a archer's toolbox in the field. And you know, obviously a lot of your products will fit that toolbox concept, but like this is something I feel like every archer should have before they go into the field, is have this box with their gear, right? So they have their bow set up, it's good to go, but we need to have these boxes full of things like a whisker biscuit, extra peep sights, the scissors, things in there that you can fix your bow in the field. And I think people totally forget, and I totally forgot about it till this year, when all of a sudden I'm like, my rest got loose or something happened. I thought, God, I'm not really prepared here. I don't even know where's an archery shop anywhere near me. I'm probably 50 miles from an archery shop. Like, what if something breaks? I got to be able to fix it in the field itself. And I got to have the D-loop. I got to have some adhesive. I got to have those things in this box ready to rock, you know, with a list of where to buy it, how to buy it. That's in my mind, like what I want to do with the video, because I feel like people could put together their own kit using a fishing box or whatever, but having like the Allen wrench, you know what I mean? Like that, those things need to be in there ready to go all the time with your setup. This isn't like a box you're going to use all the time. In my opinion, it's like one of those, it's like a first aid kit. You're always going to have it. Never mess with it because you don't want to take something out and forget it. Like a lighter's in there, the scissors, the D-loop, the peep, an extra kisser, an extra rest, that extra cheap sight. That's at least something you could use if you had to, that can fit in this box, like a little cheap. But these are the things I think people need to understand that are out there. And
totally.
You know,
it's ironic too, as you're saying it, because I've never had a sight go loose on me in the field. I don't know why. Just I've been lucky that way. This year, I'm going out. I'm literally walking out. I just dropped my son off at his stand. I'm going the other way. I said, you know what? I never do this, but I'm going to fling an arrow one time into the target. So I just stopped, shot real quick. I missed the target. High left. I mean, high left.
It's that sixth sense. You're like, I got to try this.
So now here's the ironic part. I got thousands of those Allen wrenches that we talked about. You know, I don't have an Allen wrench set with me, and I'm 6 hours away. So I went and I scrambled through some tools. I found something that worked and I got adjusted. But I'm thinking, how stupid is that I have all these wrenches and I don't have one ready? So you're spot on. You should have the gear.
I feel the same way. I have a website that does tons of things. We have bows everywhere, sights everywhere, things like this laying around, and yet I don't have anything. I was thinking the other day, I was telling the guys, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I get to my spot, not to my spot, I get to our hunt camp, and I pre-leave these like tubs of gear so I don't have to bring it every time, right? So I get there, I'm like, where's my grunt call? Don't you have a grunt call? Can't even find a grunt. Can't find my rangefinder. I mean, it's pathetic. I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, can't find a rangefinder. I can't find the grunt. Can't find my little deer bleep box. I'm like, what the hell? So I mean, that's the hunting gear. That's nothing to do with the bow. And I think people forget that the bow has so much stuff on it that's important. Every aspect of that bow is important to the shot. Before we finish up, Brian, real quick, what should these accessories, because, you know, I forgot to ask this to you, would you say are geared a little bit towards crossbow, or what you could maybe use on a crossbow? Anything that you guys have in the lineup?
That's a great question. My son's been diehard with the Raven crossbow, so I've been in that frame of mind, and we get that question a lot. Like, what can you make for crossbows? Honestly, there's not a lot there, but one thing that we did do is this Nitro split limb dampener. We have an orange, and his Raven has orange on it, of course. Put these in, and it's already a quiet bow as it is, but some extra dampening worked really well. It's always good to have the Allen wrench set, truthfully. The arrow inspector for spinning your bolts. That's key. The adhesive, of course, if you're going to fletch your own arrows, your own bolts. But I did use some of our wishbones. We didn't talk about these much, but they're little, I get on the camera here. They wrap right around the string, and their vibration dampener. So you can use that as well. But the crossbows are so loud and they have so much vibration that I think anything you can do to dampen them, even the really good ones that are pretty good, they can use a little extra dampening. So that's where we kind of look to that area and make sure that we have some products for that. But there's not a lot to them. They're not like a bow, you know?
Yeah, I just want to show this real quick so people can see how it goes on.
Just
it looks so easy.
Stuff.
It's like a slip knot, huh? You just wrap it through itself.
You wrap around and put the legs through the little hole and pull it back on itself. They're meant to stay on, so it's tough. You got to kind of stretch them a little bit, but once you get them on, they're good.
Real quick, I bet you still sell a lot of these, don't you?
Yeah, we do. It's ironic.
I knew it.
I got to get them cat whiskers, I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. Okay.
That is so funny. And you look at that. You guys still make them in all these colors. That's so impressive.
17 different colors. Yeah.
That is so impressive. What is this mostly on compound people, or is this you getting like traditional that want this?
Traditional as well. Yeah. We do for those for traditional. We have brush buttons that we have in a few different colors for, for the trad guys and that kind of stuff. So it might be on the page 2 there, but.
Oh, got it.
Maybe.
Right
here. Yep.
Oh, okay. Is that like a rubberized material?
Yep, exactly. It's a molded material. Yep. Slides right over. So it's used as a brush button, a little vibration dampening too. Yeah.
Yeah. And, real quick, I'll throw out that, you guys actually do have your own kits. I forgot about that. I forgot.
Yeah.
This. Well, let me scroll down here. Come on. What are you doing? Like these kits. I forgot you guys had these Archer combo kits.
Yeah. We have them with that, with the tube and a peep, or we have them with the feather peep that is, without a tube.
Yeah. The colors look so good. So incredible.
It just looks cool. And it's, especially if you have, maybe you don't have the brand new bow, the top of line bow, or you're not upgrading this year. I've got my 3-year-old bow. I'm not buying a new one, but I want to do something. You can, swap that out for not a lot of money. You can get some different colors on it and make it look new or make it look fresh to you. Just something different. If you don't want to go spend the full bill on it, you can upgrade.
Yeah, very cool. Brian, thanks for joining us on the BHP podcast. Appreciate it. To learn more about Pine Ridge, go to pineridgearchery.com. Brian, did we forget anything you wanted to cover?
No, I think we did it justice here. We just like everyone to know we make stuff in the U.S. Very few things are not made here. Some things come from other countries, but very few. We try to do as much under this roof as we can, and been doing well for over 20 years now. Very cool. And you guys do have a social media. I guess you go to Pine Ridge Archer. On Instagram. That's one of my favorite. I love Instagram. I just think it's fun. You can do a picture, then you can tag people. I just think it's so fun. I feel like it's kind of overcome Facebook a lot. It's just a little faster and a little more people using it. On Facebook, you guys are Pine Ridge Archery. Yep. Because I know I have this issue too. You have to check your name for every one of these. Right. Somebody else grabbed Pine Ridge Archery on Instagram. YouTube, it's is it Dubro? Dubro Pine Ridge, because that's our other company is Dubro. Yep. Do a lot of tech tip videos in there. I see that. Holy cow. It's all linked on pineridgearchery.com. You can get to all our social media, all our YouTube links and all that. Brian, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you next time.